So hello and welcome to the Maths Guide, and today we're going to be looking at the area of compound shapes. However, instead of asking you to find the area of a rectangle by multiplying the length by the width, I'm just going to tell you that the area is some value and we're going to call it A. So the area of the first shape in green, we're just going to say that that's A. And you know in your head that A means maybe 100 square centimeters or something like that. So whatever the area of the shape is, we're going to call that A. The area of the second shape, we're going to call B. You'll know in your head that it's maybe 6 square centimeters, but we're just going to call that B. And we know that the area of the third shape in red is maybe 1 square centimeter, but we're going to call that C. So instead of asking you to multiply length by width, I'm going to tell you what the answer is. I'm going to tell you that the area, we're just going to call the area A. So you're getting the idea of using a letter to represent some value. So the value in this case is the area of the large shape is A, the area of the next shape is B, and the area of the third shape is C. So let's look at a question where we're asked to find the area of a compound shape. So you can see here that we have the first shape, and we know that the area of the big rectangle here is A. We know that the area of the next rectangle is B, and we know that the area of the third little rectangle is C. Let's forget about this bit for a second. Now we want to find the area of the compound shape. So I'm asking you to find what the shaded area is. So we know that to find the area of the shaded shape, we're going to have the big rectangle. So the area of our compound shape is going to be the big rectangle. We're going to take away, so this is the idea of removing pieces from area. So we have the area A, we're going to take away B. We're going to do that 3 times. And then we're going to add back in this little shaded square. So we're going to add in C 3 times. Now, instead of writing I take away B 3 times, it's easier to just say I have A and I take away 3 times the area of B. And then I add back in 3 times the area of C. Now, when we have some value for something, this is the area of a compound shape, we have its value, we put that whole thing in brackets, so we know that everything inside the brackets is the area of this shape. Now from substitution, you will know that when we have the values, when we're told that the area A equals 100 square centimeters, that the area B is equal to 6 square centimeters, and the area C is equal to 1 square centimeters, then we can put that into our formula and work out what the actual area is in square centimeters. However, we're getting the idea of us coming up with a formula. So instead of being told what the formula for something is, we're going to work out what the formula for something is. And then in different questions, we can be told what the different values are. So these values might change. But for the moment, we have a value A minus 3B plus 3C. I also want to give you an interesting idea. Let's have a look at the smaller shape. It's a rectangle which has area B, and it has this piece C cut out of it. So if you imagine that you take this piece here, okay, so you imagine this shaded area. This shaded area here is what you want to cut out of the original shape. So this shaded area is B minus C. So a second way of saying what the area of the compound shape is, we could say we have the whole area A, which is the big shape, and we're cutting 3 of these things out of it. So we're taking away 3 of these things. And that's actually exactly the same thing, because it's the same area we're talking about. It's just a different way of thinking about it. Okay, so that's just a little idea for you. You don't have to do it that way. I'm going to give you a couple of questions where there's some kind of a compound shape, and I'm going to ask you to come up with a formula. Something like this. I'm going to tell you what the area of the different shapes are, and you're going to come up with this formula. If this is your formula, you'll get the right answer. If this is your formula, you'll get the right answer. And later on, we'll discover how this is actually exactly the same formula as this. So later on we'll be working with how to manipulate and change formulas so that they look the same. So this is the area of compound shapes. I just wanted to give you that little idea that you have to start thinking about what you're doing. You can think, I've got this shape here and I'm going to cut out this shape here. I'm going to cut that out, that whole rectangle, and then I'm going to put this back in again, is one way of thinking about it. Another way of thinking about it is I have this big shape here and I'm going to cut this shape out of it. So it's like a cookie cutters. If you've ever cut cookies using a cookie cutter, you'll understand what I'm talking about here. But it's the way you need to think about when you're looking at compound shapes. Okay, but this is just the idea of coming up with a formula yourself and applying it to particular questions. So have a little think about that, and I'll give you some worksheet questions that you can have a look at. And remember, of course, that you can access the worksheet for free. All you have to do is sign into the Maths Guide, and you'll have free access to the worksheets. Okay, so have a go at that, and the best of luck.